Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great. We'll wait for a couple of more minutes
Sure,
while we
sure.
say hello to each other. Maybe turn
Yeah.
on our videos and say hello to each other. Right. Who is Redmi? We've got someone named Redmi. Okay. Looking great, Ajayji.
Thank you.
Everyone's nice. Hi, Devi. Hello.
Yeah, we are in a Gurudwara. We are in a Gurudwara in Aurangabad.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
Punjabi wedding. Yeah, it's a Punjabi wedding.
All right. Darshanji, you need to probably check your audio settings. We all can hear each other. Hello, Sweetu Didi. How are you?
I'm good, Chinmay. This is a good session. I'm hoping to get some good stuff out of this one. Looks good. The topic looks interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I live up to your expectation.
You always
Chinmay,
do,
can
mate.
Chinmay, can
you.
you request all the guests to put in their real names instead of that mobile number or mobile name?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think someone named Redmi, they need to change the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think rest of all have kept their names over there. Hi, Arjuman, how are you?
Good morning, Chinmay ji.
Good morning,
Hi,
Himanshu.
hi, Chinmay. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Hi, Jaji.
You gave you
Hi,
gave the
hi.
you gave the
Yeah,
topic for today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Okay.
I think it's important.
Great, great, great. All right. Hi, Dipti, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you.
Good, good, good. All right. I
Hello,
think
everyone.
it's about time we should begin. All of us are ready.
Very good morning, Himadri ji. Very good morning. Unfortunately, I won't be there actively participating in the session because I'm out in a marriage in Aurangabad.
Okay, okay. Good morning once again.
Very
Thank you
good,
for
very,
listening.
very good morning. Yeah, very good morning.
Super. So, if you all permit, we can begin. Okay, Redmi is my G Papa and G Mummy. Okay, okay, great. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being there. All right, so let's begin, guys. Welcome to the amazing session. I think it's one of my favorite topic as well because relationships is one area of our life where majority of our life success actually depends on, and the quality of our life depends on our relationships, the quality of our relationships, and the way we deal with our relationships actually determine the way we deal with our life, right? Because every single day we are surrounded by human beings. And the reason I had this video of horses in the beginning was because there is a lot to learn. If you know about horses, and if you've been around horses or cows, or any animal who is very friendly to human, they have a certain culture, especially horses. Okay, and in Norway and certain part of Europe, they have this culture of connecting yourself with a horse. It's like you have a soul animal. Okay, and the reason they do that is because horses are really
Yes,
really
very.
emotional
मैं ठीक खाने जा रही हूँ मुझे तुम हॉल में जाओ
animals, right? Horses, they are really really emotional, and they feel, right? They feel everything. And now, there used to be old ways to train horses, but now there's new ways. Okay, and the new ways is like you connect to your horse, and the horse understands. Okay, I don't know about you all. I had I had one beautiful encounter with the horse when I was in Srinagar, uh, and I was supposed to ride on a horse to go and look around the gardens of flowers, and you know that horse actually, I got so connected to his name was Badal. So I got so connected to him that he was pretty much walking ahead of the herd without the person holding him, and he trusted me so much. And I had that beautiful experience of about 4.5 5 hours of sitting on his back, and him letting me guide through. So they have this culture of we, not me. Okay, so today we are going to focus on that we culture, right? Because the area of self empowerment and the area of achieving goals and all of that is a lot about me culture. I want to do that. But today it's going to be a little different. It's going to be about we culture, right? And the we culture focuses on we and not just me, right? We as the community. And that's exactly what you can learn from a lot of herds of animals, right? If you see a lot of wolves, okay, wolves in the ice, in the Antarctica and all those places, they have herds of wolves. And the wolf that walks the most forward is the wolf who actually is the oldest, and then behind them walks the youngest ones, and then behind them walks all the other members. The reason being that is that because they believe in the wisdom, and the oldest wolf actually walks in front of the herd for two reasons. Number one, because they have the wisdom of what to do and which way to go. And number two is because in case their lifespan is over, right, they can have other people to lead the herd, right? And the sick and the wolves that are not really feeling well and they feel that they're about to die, they will go behind the herd. They will go all the way back of the herd so that they do not disturb the flow of the herd. And in case if they die, they can die peacefully and the herd can move forward, right? Such an amazing wisdom that you can learn from animals. But today I want to share this uh, idea about relationship, right? And there are only two ways we can deal in a relationship. Let me see. Okay, number one is you are a giver, or number two, you are a taker, right? So a great question to start with today is that in any relationship, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your parents, whether it's your siblings, whether it's your friends, your cousins, whoever you are associated with, you ask one question to yourself: that are you a giver or a taker, right? And the moment you ask that question, a lot of images starts popping up, right? And a lot of things starts popping up. The great way to do it is you can take this quiz. Okay, I'm going to post the link later on in the chat box and also in our WhatsApp group. So don't worry, you don't have to take the quiz now. It will take about 10-15 minutes. But take this quiz. You will get to know and be honest when you're taking that quiz, okay? You will get to know whether you are a giver or a taker in a relationship. And every relationship, we have different roles, okay? In some relationship, we are takers. In some relationships, we are givers, okay? But today, we are going to go and find the balance, yeah? Balance is the key. And balance brings balance in all the areas of life, right? So why do we lose balance, right? There are so many things because of which we lose balance. Lack of self-awareness, right? We are not aware of who we really are. We are not aware of what qualities do we represent. We are not aware of what do we value the most, right? And that's why we lose the balance. We tend to go into extremes, right? Whether it's towards love or towards you know unlove or hatred, right? For the lack of better word. But we tend to go in the extremes rather than being neutral. we have good intention to fulfill our human need tanks. Oh man, this is my favorite topic, human need tanks. We are going to talk about that further on when we move forward. Because if you master filling your six human need tanks, man, you are unstoppable human being. You become unstoppable. We don't want to feel out of the herd, right? We lose balance sometimes because we don't want to feel out of the herd, right? And sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not so good thing. Oh, let me move this black area because it's just right. Better. Yeah. And we like to be liked, right? All of us like to be liked by other people, right? And as we like to be liked, we sometimes lose balance in being likable, right? And we have loads of expectations, right? We are human beings, we have expectations. And that's the reason we sometimes lose balance. Okay. So, what makes us lose balance? Either we are too much into taking or we are too much into giving, right? Feel free to share whenever I ask a question, all right? So, what is the quality of a taker? Anyone? Who becomes too much of a taker?
Attention seeker.
Attention seeker? Okay, all right. Good answer. Today's appreciation is 1, 2, 3. You are balanced. Okay. So
You are
1,
balanced.
2, 3. You are balanced.
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 Super. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Kids.
so sorry. Yeah, the elderly people means the kids or like they mentioned. So in that relationship, it's like a taker. So somebody who is always expecting in any kind of relationship, whether be it professional, whether be it family, also. They don't care about what others are doing for them, and they don't actually participate in supporting in any of the activities. So that is where it's just asking for them to deliver. So it's, even if it's professional, like as a boss, I say that you only have to do it, I will not support. Or even if I'm in the house, that I expect my wife only to do the household chores, I'm not looking at her, she is keeping quiet, but I'm not going and doing anything. So then that's what. So it's actually how you observe and how you contribute. So I believe it's takers.
Yeah, true.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great, Himadriji. 1, 2, 3. You are balanced.
Man,
All right. Anyone else?
You are balanced.
Huh?
Takers will always be focused on themselves. Like they won't be thinking about the other person. Like always oriented. Their focus will always to be themselves.
Yeah, their focus is always here, right? Me, right? They live in a me culture, not the we culture, right? Their focus is not on the we, they're focusing on me. Great, Devi. 1, 2, 3. You are balanced. All right.
Balanced.
You are balanced.
Cool. Anyone else?
Takers are always in demanding mode, aggressively demanders.
Right? They're always in demanding mode, right? And we all have experienced these kind of people, right? We've all experienced, and sometimes we have been those people as well, right? Let's face it, let's face the reality. And there are times when we become takers because of various things, right? But thank you for sharing. Thank you for answering. Shamji, 1, 2, 3. You are balanced.
Shamji, you are balanced.
All right. So, you know,
can I share something, Chinmayji? Sorry. If
go for it. Yes.
Yeah, so I actually learned something like 1.5 years back. I was also going through similar organization coaching, and one example came out very well. Like we always look through the eyes, and as a team means boss or something, we expect things to be done. So one example he mentioned, the person mentioned, and which struck to my mind, which is like too much of a giver or a taker. He said, when you spend from money from your bank, so if you do not have investments, how do you spend? So it's like when you are giving to others, you are investing. Actually, you are creating that value that whenever you ask, the other person will automatically give it. You don't need to ask. So that's what I felt, that it's a relationship. It's more of, if you change it to giving, then the taking mentality changes. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, Madhuriji. Such a beautiful example. 1, 2, 3. You are balanced.
You are balanced.
Yeah, that's a beautiful example, right? You deposit in a bank, and that's when you can, you know, get the cash out. But if you don't deposit at all, then you keep on taking the cash out. One day the bank will give you the notice that, guess what, you are in debt, right? And then, you know, the debt grows and grows and grows, and it becomes bitter and bitter and bitter, right? So, you know, too much of a taker, just some characteristics that came in my mind are, and they're always unhappy about what people do. You know, it doesn't matter what they do, it's not enough for them, right? They need more of that, right? The complaining is their favorite time pass, right? Whatever they'll complain about, you know, this person is like that, that person is like this, and you know they like it because that gives them again a sense of goodness, that you know what, they are better than them, right? They believe that they are entitled to everything they have, right? And people should do things to make them happy, right? And this sense of entitlement is devastating because it actually steals your joy, right? It steals the joy out of your life, right? And having a fixed, rigid mindset about how people should be, right? And we have all been that once in a while, you know, how government should be, or how this should be, or how, you know, that person should act, or, you know what, how that cricketer should have batted, or how, you know, we practice this sometimes, but that does not allow us to be flexible, right? And that makes us too much of a taker. And when you are too much of in a taking mode, I guarantee you that joy will be so much further away from you that it will not even be visible. You will feel that nothing is good in your life, right? And now comes too much of a giver. Okay, tell me some characteristics of too much of a giver.
In personality trait, there is a saying that Mother Teresa kind of a person who always, yeah. So there are 9 traits of personality. So one of the personalities is people who always give, and he doesn't think about self. So it's just one way thing.
Yeah, but that's joyful giving. She was happy all her life when she was giving.
Yeah.
So, but too much of a giver, what are there some characteristics?
So, Chinmay, I would like to just share. Yeah, so it would be...
They give selflessly without expecting anything.
They give selflessly without expecting anything. Yeah. So that's a giver. Yeah, absolutely. What is too much of a giver? Yeah.
They care for the love and relationship with the other person whom they give, without any expectation from them.
Okay. Sorry, who was that?
Venkat.
1, 2, 3. Venkat, you are balanced.
You are balanced.
You are balanced. I think someone was sharing. Then we missed him. Gaurav.
Chinmay, it's me. Yeah. So basically,
Gaurav, your voice is very low.
I think I'm using a Bluetooth headset. Probably that is why. So, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. So basically, they don't know how to say a no.
They don't know how to say no, right?
Yeah.
So, to the point. Absolutely. So Gaurav, you
are balanced.
Right? So some of the things that came in my mind, right? They want to get approval from everyone all the time, right? They want people's approval. They want to know from people, you are good, you are great, you are amazing. So until someone tells them, their day is not done. They don't feel fulfilled, right? So they are too much of a giver. See, Mother Teresa was different. Whether people tell her something or whether people give her, you know, curse words, she didn't care. But there are people who, you know, they are working for the approval. They give out of sense of guilt and obligation. They feel they're obliged to give, right? They feel they're obliged to, contribute, right? And a lot of it comes from a lot of our childhood patterns as well. And I'll talk about that in a little while. So you take responsibility for other people's problems, dramas, as if it is your responsibility to fix their lives, right? A lot of times people do that. They take responsibility of other people so much that it actually they make that person dependent on them. And then, you know what, they feel that they are entitled to solve everything that they themselves can solve, right? And they make other people dependent on them. And they like that people are dependent on me, right? But that's, in a way unhealthy, because then once they're dependent on them, they start expecting a lot from them. And then when they don't give what they expect, then they become really, really unhappy, right? And they become cranky about it. So, you know what, someone was sharing about the 9 personality traits. Himadriji was sharing. So yeah, Enneagram has come up with the 9 personality traits. And one of the traits is giver. But every trait, every personality has their peak state and their worst state. So even a personality who is a giver, in their peak state, they are like Mother Teresa. But in their worst state, they become like, you know what, no one is caring for me. I do so much for people, but people never care. All my life, I worked so hard for people, but you know what? They've always judged me. That kind of, zone they go into. And that also takes them far, far, far away from the balance in their life, right? Feeling resentful because you're burnt out because of overgiving, right? Feeling the resentment, मैंने इतना सब कुछ किया, पर कोई मेरा ख्याल नहीं रख रहा है. Yeah, you've seen people doing that, right? And having a hard time saying no, like Gaurav said, bang on, having a hard time. If you want to say no to someone, you will feel like, something is moving. There's an earthquake going on in your gut, right? And that's kind of a person. And that comes from some childhood patterns, right? Being a people pleaser. Some patterns that, we've been taught as children for good, right? For our own development and for us to be good human beings. We have always been taught, never say no to your elders, never say no to they, So when we grow up, there are certain priorities that change, but then that patterns don't change. And we keep on giving and giving and giving until we are burnt out, right? And we don't set boundaries, right? We don't set a certain things for us to be taking care of us first, and then we can go ahead and give, right? So the other thing is having trouble receiving, right? Have you ever seen someone, or have you ever experienced yourself, someone gives you a compliment, you know what, you look really good today. What's the first thing would be the response? Anyone?
Somebody can say thank you, others say, oh no, it's fine, I don't means some other people are very indifferent, they don't take that positively.
Yeah. And they feel that, you know what, they don't deserve this.
Yeah.
Right? The deserve level is very low. And the reason being is, again, it's all related to self-worth and who they are, and they know who they are or they don't know who they are, right? And they have trouble in receiving. Some people, when someone gives them compliment, they will compliment back, right? So when someone compliments me, initially what I used to do is I used to, find great things about them. And, I felt the responsibility to compliment them back. But now what I do is I open my arms and I receive and I say, thank you, right? If someone says, man, you look amazing, I say, thank you, right? And I receive it. And if I feel like that, you know what, I have a genuine compliment for them, not looking for it, but I have a genuine compliment for them, then I will revert it back. But I don't feel entitled to it, right? Because they complimented, not because they want to please you, right? They complimented maybe genuinely, or maybe they want to please you. But again, don't start a cycle of, just not being entitlement, right? So if you're having trouble receiving, or, you're guilty to receive even a compliment, that means you are too much of a giver at times, right? So the best thing to do is to receive compliments with open arms and say thank you, right? Say thank you. And, there is a saying that universe gives you more of what you thank for, right? Whatever you think about and you thank about, you bring about. And that's exactly, are the traits of too much of a giver. But now, how do we balance it all? How do we not become too much of a giver, too much of a taker? But in order for us to do that, we need to first know about our 6 human needs, our 6 tanks, right? Our 6 tanks are, certainty, variety, significance, love and connection, contribution, and growth. Okay, these are 6 human needs that all of us have innate of us. We have these needs, and we do anything that we do to fulfill these 6 needs. Anything, right? Starting from waking up till we sleep at night, our entire mission subconsciously is to fill these needs, believe it or not. Okay, let us discuss about all these needs. Okay, let me stop sharing. So these needs are innate in us. We all are born with it, right? And just like the Maslow's hierarchy of the needs, then first the bottom, if someone knows, Himadriji, you might be knowing the Maslow's hierarchy, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
right? So this is not the hierarchy, but these are the needs, right, that every single human being have. And until those needs are fulfilled, we all feel empty from inside, right? So let's take the first need. The first need is certainty, okay? And certainty means we all love to feel secure. We all love to feel in a certain way, right? And we all, need to feel safe and secure. And it's one of the basic needs that we all have, all the human beings. We all have, this need to feel safe from the danger. We have need for certainty, what we expect every single month. We want a certain kind of income. Every single month, we want a certain kind of relationships. We want a certain kind of entertainment. We want a certain kind of this, certain kind of that, certain kind of clothes, certain kind of houses, certain kind of, vehicles. We love certainty. We love security, right? And that's the very reason the business of security is flourishing every single day, right? Doesn't matter, and it will flourish even more in future because we all love that, right? Our human brain is designed for us to keep safe, right? And it's designed for us to look for dangers and not go in the places where it's dangerous and feel secure, right? We want to feel certain. But now, Almighty being Almighty, wants to have a little fun. And along with certainty, he gave this another need that is variety. So we want certainty as well. But along with that, we love variety. We love newness. So on one hand, we want to have everything in a certain way. On the other hand, we want something new every day, right? And that's why when we meet someone, first thing we ask is, what's new? What's right? The reason we do that is because we love newness. We want newness, right? And when things are too certain, there's a possibility of boredom, right? We also have a need for variety. We need new, different experiences. We want to change. We want to shift. We want new experiences, right? And that's why a lot of people, they love roller coasters, right? Because it fulfills the 2 needs. Number one, it's certain that they will have fun. And number 2, it's variety as well, because there's lots of ups and downs, right? And I'm talking in terms of metaphors as well. A lot of people like roller coasters in life because it fulfills their 2 needs, right? Number 1 is feeling certain that they will feel in a certain way when they will go through a roller coaster of life. And number 2 is that it fulfills the need of variety, that something new is happening. But let me assure you, not all the roller coasters of life are needed to be ridden on. Some roller coasters are actually good to be left alone, right? And we can walk towards in a different way. We'll talk about how to fulfill these needs in a positive way further on. But the third need is significance. We all love to feel that I'm something. We all love to feel that I mean something in this world, right? We all love to feel valued and respected, right? We all have this sense of being that, you know what, I'm something important in this, or in at least in my family, or at least in my community, right? And that's why we all make a lot of efforts to feel significant, that I'm doing something, I'm creating something, I'm making something happen, right? And there are lots of ways that people fulfill these needs. Number 4 is love and connection. We all have this need of to give and receive love, right? A lot of people are givers of love, but when it comes to receiving, they feel a lot of fear because of whatever experiences they've had in the past about love, right? So, I meet a lot of a couple in the counseling, and the first thing they share is that, you know what, the love between us has gone. It's not gone, it's there, but it's just that they have become bad receivers of love, right? They just feel entitled to give and give, but not receive, and become too much of givers, right? So we need connection with others, right? We believe in connection. We need relationships where we can be open and honest about our struggles. We need people to support us when we are struggling. It's difficult to go through life alone. No one can go through life alone, right? We need a team, and many of us need, it involves committed relationship with a spouse or a partner. So we have this innate need, and we want to fulfill this, right? Growth. Many of us have a need to grow and expand ourselves. Majority of us, we human beings, we equate growth equals life, and not growing equals death. That's how much growth is important. We want to learn new things. We want to improve every single day. We want to push the boundaries. We want to make more money. We want to create a beautiful life. We want to buy houses, and we want to buy cars, and expand our business and work life. And last but not the least is contribution. And many of us have need to contribute or to give back. And we don't just want to hoard our money or resources, but we want to use that, for good of others. And that gives I believe that gives the highest sense of fulfillment, right? When we do this, and to help people who are less fortunate, right? But now comes all these 6 things we have. Let me just stop sharing the screen. All these 6 things all of us have, right? We're born with it. We every single day we do things to fulfill that. But how we fulfill them actually determines how balanced life you live, right? And how balanced giver you can be. Because one thing is for sure, only give is also not going to work, and only taking is also not going to work to maintain the balance in any relationship. Would you agree? Right? So what will maintain the balance is, first, you fulfill your needs. And how do you do that? Right? So let's take all 6 tanks again: certainty, variety, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution, right? So let's take first 4, certainty, right? Now think about this, okay? I'll give you a couple of minutes. Write down, if you have a pen and paper, what are the things that you do during the day that makes you feel certain? And who around you makes you feel certain, right? Just write them down.
Hey, Babu.
And I'll ask you to share. What makes you feel certain? Or who makes you feel certain? What do you do during the day that makes you feel certain every day? I hope everyone got the question.
Yeah, just for tomorrow, no? September, October. Let's see that.
Okay, if anyone has written the answers, they can share.
Yeah, I wrote.
Go for it.
Yeah, actually, the thing which makes me feel certain is to have my food on time daily
Okay, that's fantastic.
and to do my work efficiently
Mhm.
and to listen to my favorite songs every day without fail.
Okay,
And I'm very particular also about to log in and log off from my work on time.
on time. All right, that's great. Clap for Arjuman. 1, 2, 3. You are balanced. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? They have written. So only Arjuman is.
For me, it would, yeah, for me, Chinmay, it would be spirituality, my goals, and my loved ones.
Your goal, your loved ones, and your spirituality. Beautiful, beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Gaurav, you
Gaurav,
are
you are
balanced.
balanced.
Gaurav,
Okay.
you are balanced.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? I'll take one last.
Yeah, for me, it is daily exercises, then doing activities that takes me towards my goal, and yeah, focusing on spirituality on a daily basis. That makes
Beautiful.
me feel certain.
Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Nehalji, you are balanced.
You are
LG,
balanced.
you're
Thank you.
balanced.
Thank you.
Cool. So yeah, it is what we do and we are aware of now, right? We are aware of it, then we know how to feel certain, right? Once you feel certain, then comes your need of variety. Okay, so let's write down, how do you fulfill the need of your variety? How do you do that? Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes. And I want different people to share this time. How do you fulfill your need of variety? Newness. Okay, anyone has the answer?
Can I?
Go for it, Kamantri.
Yeah, so not on a daily basis, yes, but I do means I love traveling means and meeting new people. So it gives me a lot of life experiences when I travel. I see a lot of things and I gain from their local culture, local means the practices. So that's what gives me one new variety. And secondly, also attempting some new things in my job. So taking some risk, some bit of a challenge when it is, because never saying no when the challenge comes to me. So that also gives me a good learning experience.
Super. 1, 2, 3. Himadriji, you are balanced.
Thank you.
All right. Who else? Who else? I want someone new to share. How do they fulfill their need of variety?
Avnish here.
Go for it, Avnish.
I love to go outside. I mean, some outside place to break the monotony of the routine.
Okay.
So I love traveling. I mean, I love driving rather.
Okay. All right. That's nice. 1, 2, 3. Avnishji, you are balanced.
Avnishji, you're balanced.
Thank you.
Cool. Cool. Now comes the third need, the need of feeling significant, right? You know, if you're in business, okay, and if you have a product or a service through which you can make people feel significant, you will be really good in doing business, right? And the business will flourish, right? It's one key. You know, one of my mentors in Sydney, Australia, he told me that if you can make people feel significant, right, in a genuine way, not in a manipulative way, in a genuine way, if you can make people feel significant, you've won their hearts, right? And that's one need that is like really, really close to our hearts, right? Whether we like it or not, but it's there. So now, note it down if you have, thought about it and become aware of what do you do the day that makes you feel significant, right? Anyone?
Can you repeat a little loudly, Chinmay?
What do you do during the day that makes you feel significant?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
For me, can I share, Chinmay?
Go for it.
Yeah. So it would be helping out others, service, social service, and the performance, what I give in my career or businesses, whatever it is.
Beautiful. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Gaurav, you are balanced.
Gaurav, you're balanced.
Or balanced.
Okay. I want someone new to share, if possible.
Yeah. Can I come in, please?
Sure, Darshanji. Welcome.
Okay. You see, feeling significant in your own eyes is very important. Okay. And if you can do it on daily basis, it certainly is very enriching your soul, enriching your mind, enriching your being. Actually, your personality itself blooms when you are significant in your own eyes. That's the most important part. So I read. I'm a voracious reader. I read a lot of good books. One. Secondly, I keep looking for helping people on Quora, on my email, on my otherwise neighborhood. I keep doing this. So that gives me really a sense of satisfaction, which is very important. Very important. You see, even within your family, if you're helping your child, your wife, or you're doing it selflessly, I think you become significant in your own eyes. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Darshanji, you are balanced.
Darshanji, you are balanced.
You are balanced.
So yeah, we have this sense of significance, and we find different ways to fill these tanks, right? Someone fulfills these tanks in a different way, right? People who have a little bit of a problem with the addiction, they have the problem with the addiction is because the addiction fulfills all their tanks. It's fulfilling their certainty tank. They'll feel gives them variety, gives them a hit, gives them significance. You know what? Especially ones, especially people who are young, they'll feel like, you know what? I smoke, I look cool, right? And they feel significant immediately, right? And they feel connected to the community who are, also in the same path. And same is true for terrorists. Even people join terrorist groups to fulfill their needs. And same is true for people who become devotees or for people who dedicate their life, right? Because it gives them this fulfillment of all the human needs, right? So the fourth need is love and connection. So what do you do during your day that makes you feel loved and makes you feel connected? Any answers?
Can I say?
Go for it.
Actually, daily, even when I'm working also, I try to take out some time to help in the household work in my family, in my family. So that makes me feel connected.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. And what makes you feel loved?
To have my lunch with them.
Okay, great. Superb. 1, 2, 3. Arjuman, you are balanced. Anyone else?
Arjuman, you're balanced.
All right. I want
importance.
How do you fill your love and connection tank?
Yeah, Chinmay, may I come in, please?
Go for it.
Okay. You see, since the COVID-19 has really put us in the cages, like I can see this, peacock in cage. So, so what happens actually? You see, it's very important. I'm using WhatsApp call, video call, or audio call extensively. I really believe in calling people and talking to them and knowing how's everybody and the family and all, and they really get surprised. You see, out of the blue, somebody is really taking interest in their lives and feeling concerned and you know, they're trying to put them at ease. It's a great feeling to me. I select 2 to 3, 4, 5 people. I have a long talk, and then I feel nice about it because I genuinely am interested in those people. So this is how I would like to keep connected with them. Okay. And love is basically when you share, when you love somebody, you automatically in that bliss that everybody is loving your voice. They want to hear you. They want to wish you well. And this is what starts from your family, from your children, from your neighbors, and then it really blooms into your beautiful world. The world is very beautiful, actually. Thank you.
True, true, true. Beautiful, beautiful, Darshan. 1, 2, 3.
Darshan
You are
balanced.
balanced. You are balanced.
Okay. So all these 4 tanks, they are really important. Okay. And of course, growth and contribution. So you can, because we are lacking time, so I have you guys do this in your time of how you fill your growth and contribution tank. But the key here is that you first fill all your tanks. And the key here is that you should not be dependent on other people to fill your tanks. Bottom line. Okay. If you're dependent on other people to fill your tanks, you become a taker. Okay. If you need someone to make you feel loved and connected, or if you need someone to make you feel certain, you need someone to make you feel significant, if you need someone to make you feel, you know, a newness or variety, then you're dependent. And that dependency creates a relationship of taking, right? So the key here is that you've got to have filled all these tanks with just you being yourself. Okay. So let me give you an example how I fill all my tanks. Number 1, I meditate, fills all my tanks. Number 2, I play music sometimes, fills all my tanks. Number 3, I go for a run or I exercise, fills all my tanks. Okay. Number 4, I read or I write, fills all my tanks. Number 5, I take sessions, fills all my tanks. You know, so do things that fills all your tanks without you being dependent on other people for filling your tanks, let alone being your spouse, right? Or your mother or your father, right? Because no one is entitled to give you anything in this planet, right? Everyone gives because of their heart, right? And that is a bonus, right? Anyone that gives you extra is a bonus, right? And way you will become a fantastic giver, right? And here is that you need to find out whoever you are in relationship, whether it's your father, mother, your spouse, your brother, sister, your cousin, your friends, your boss, your colleagues, your subordinates, anyone that you are in relationship with, you need to find out what tanks of them are empty. You need to find out. Okay, how do you find out? Through their language that they use and through the daily behavior that they, they show. Through that, you will be able to find out what are the needs that they're trying to fulfill through their behavior. Because I believe people always have good intention. They have great intention, even if the behavior is wrong, right? A terrorist kills people is a bad behavior. But at the end of the day, his intention is that, you know what, I want to reach Allah and I want to, or I want, please the God or whatever, right? And that's why they are programmed to do this, but they're filling their needs to feel significant, to feel loved, to feel connected, right? So everyone who even has a bad behavior has a good intention, right? To fill their needs. And if you can find out what is the need that they are trying to fulfill with that bad behavior, and you fill their need, you make them aware and you fill their need in a positive way, you will win their hearts. You will be superbly balanced. and you will help them to be balanced as well, right? That is powerful, right? So let me move forward in my presentation. Okay, where's the slideshow? From the current slide. Okay, so contribution was the last one. Moving forward. So what needs are you trying to meet, right? Through your daily activities and through your daily behaviors is a powerful question that you can ask yourself every day. You know, I ask myself at times if I'm, you know, I go in the expectation mode too much, because we go, right? We tend to go. Then I just stop, pause, and I ask myself, what need am I trying to meet? And how can I fulfill the need by myself, right? We all can. And having this mindset of victor rather than being a victim, right? So a victim mindset is that, you know what, because of everything around me, my life is like this, right? And the victor mindset is that because of me, everything around me is like this. And depending on what kind of mindset you have, you will either become a giver or a taker. And that will create the kind of quality of life that you have, right? So how do we meet our needs is very important, positively or negatively, right? So giving attention is positive, right? You give attention to someone. Setting your boundaries right is a positive thing, right? You know, setting your boundaries, we'll talk a little bit about that. But, you know, having that sense of boundaries and not just going in the constant mode of burning yourself. Keeping a list of things to do to fill your tanks, right? So I have a list of things that I've written it down, that these are the things that I do that fills my tanks. And the moment I feel empty, I go look at that list. And then, you know what, one of the things I start doing, it fills my tanks like this, right? Seeking attention, you know, negative way to fill our needs. Burning down your fuel and, you know, then complain. Expecting others to fill your tanks, right? Expecting your spouse or your parent or your kid even to fill your tanks, right? You're responsible to do this, liable to do this. You are supposed to make this for me. You are supposed to do this for me. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You know, and all of that creates a lot of friction in the relationships. And being in the place where your circle of influence is, right? Your circle of influence and your circle of control is. What circle of influence and control? Things that is in your hand, right? Things that are in your hand if you do that, and things that you can impact on, and not being outside of your influence zone, right? And that's what makes you feel centered. So, giving you an example, being proactive. So focus on issues that are in the circle of influence, focusing on things that are possible to do, rather than focusing on things that are, you know, 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road, or what government should do or what certain person should do, right? The nature of the energy is doing positives, enlarging and magnifying, right? They increase their circle of influence, right? Every single day, they do things that increases their circle of influence, right? And they don't focus on things they cannot control, right? They have no influence over at all. So that creates a powerful mindset of a giver. Now, how to build boundaries is very, very important, because a lot of people come to me with this question, okay, of how to build boundaries. So number one thing is to be a victor and not a victim, right? Stop playing blame games. Stop blaming other people for your situation right now. You take responsibility of wherever you are, right? Number two is love and respect yourself, right? Self-love, self-respect is really powerful, right? I met a lady, and she was from a different community, and community to wear certain kind of clothes was mandatory, right? And she didn't want to do that. She said, you know what? I am the way I am, and I will do what I feel like to do, right? and she had to fight with all her relatives in order for her to stop doing that, right? And immediately after she stopped doing that to please them, she became like from a she became a lioness, right? And she started doing things that seemed to be impossible for people in that community for a woman. And then she went to Canada and she did amazing stuff. She's a coach. Uh, she's a transformation, personality, a big name in the industry, right? But she started with, you know, loving and respecting herself and loving and respecting her own choices, right? Create space. So create physical space, create emotional space, and create energetic space. So when I say physical space, you got to know and you got to learn how to say no in certain things that you might want to do, might not want to do, right? You've got to learn to say no in a positive way, right? So creating that physical space, create emotional space. So rather than being emotionally constantly involved in someone else's drama, you got to be emotionally intelligent in where to use your emotions, right? In that culture, where to use your emotions so that you don't make other people dependent on you, but you make them independent and you make them powerful. So I had this friend back in Australia. Okay, he was very young. We used to live together uh, in a shared apartment. And this guy, whenever he used to get in trouble, lack of finances, he used to ask from his friends. Okay, and he was capable to work part time, but he was not doing that. So he would always ask his parents for his expenses. He would always ask his friends. He would borrow money from his friends. And you know what? I used to do that. I used to give him. But then one fine day, I read that, you've got to give yourself and the other people some space and make them independent. So he asked me for $1,000, and for paying his college fees. And I said, you know what? I know you can find it yourself. You don't have to ask me, and I'll not give you. So his immediate reaction was that, you know what? You don't care for me, and you don't know what I'm going through, and you don't know, things that are bad in my life. And he's like, you know what? You're not a good friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed, right? But you're not a friend. You're not helping me on time when I need help, and all that sort of things. But then after that, his immediate reaction was, you know what? I'll show you. I'll show you how I find money. He went out and he found a job. He started working because I refused to help him. Imagine that. Now, was that empowering for him? Absolutely. For a little while, it was disempowering, but then at the end of the day, it was empowering. So sometimes think about it. When you're helping someone, don't make them dependent on you. Otherwise, you are actually making them weak, right? So be very thoughtful when you're helping someone. We really feel good because majority of people we know are givers, right? We love giving because it makes us feel great. But then sometimes it also harms other people because they are now really dependent on you and they are not able to, lift themselves up because of that. And that's why a lot of kids nowadays, right? Their parents are making them so much dependent on themselves that they are not able to excel in their life. Not even give an interview in their job interviews. The reason being, they're so much dependent on the parents. And parents somehow, they like it. They think, you know what, they're doing everything that can for kids. But sometimes not doing something is also doing something, right? Well, we'll talk about that. It's a vast topic. But, and also creating...
Chinmay, can I share one thing?
Go for it.
That's related to this. Exactly, it's all about the beggars. What people just give them money rather than doing that, help them to start doing something. Just motivate them or empower them or help them to get into something.
True. I never give money to beggars. If at all, I give something to eat, right?
Something to eat. Yeah, that is what exactly.
So absolutely.
I also do the same.
Yeah, and energetically as well, you need to create your space, right? You got to find time for you to lift your energies up, right? And that's when you will be able to, sustain it long time. Speak your truth with love, clarity, and grace. Whatever you feel, who you are, speak it out. It Don't hold grudges. Don't hold, things back. Speak whatever you feel is true for yourself. That might not be true for other people, right? For example, this lady was supposed to wear a certain kind of clothes in a certain kind of community. She was not true according to all the entire community, but then she was true to herself. She had clarity and grace, and that's why she was able to excel and do things that even people cannot even imagine. And now they think, now the entire community is proud of her and what she's doing. Imagine that, right? So do that. And shortcut to build balance. Okay, final thing, then we are done. The shortcut to find the balance. Any guess? The shortcut to balance. Okay, let me drop the mystery. Okay, invest in the relationships that support your growth, not in the relationships. It might be sometimes harsh to do this, but only invest in the relationships that supports your growth. Don't invest in the relationships that actually bring you down. Okay, sometimes we go in that downward spiral, that someone who is pulling us down, we only keep on investing in them, thinking that one fine day it will flourish. But if it's in the downward spiral, the spiral will go even further down and down and down. So you got to stop that, right? Give time in contribution, right? Give time in giving back. Whatever you can give your time, you can give your resources, you can give whatever, right? Give time in contribution, right? Go and spend time with little kids in orphanage, or wherever you feel like, right? Give uh, give from the place of joy, not from the place of what I'm supposed to give. Give if you're happy about it. Don't give if you are, what, mere ko karna padega, or it's my responsibility. Then that all creates a lot of sorrow in your heart. And practice self-worth. I am enough. There was this amazing celebrity, and that guy, he was constantly angry. He had everything that one can ask for. He had a house in what's that beautiful place? I forgot the name. But Beverly Hills, okay? And he had amazing things that one can ever dream of. But he was constantly angry in his life. And one therapist went to him, and he had these paintings, different kind of paintings, on his walls, and all of them were actually turning towards this, turning towards that. All of them were actually mentioning, I am not enough. Okay, so this therapist actually told them that you think you are not enough, do you? And that's why you strive to achieve so much. And he immediately started crying. And she made him write, I am enough, on his mirrors, every mirror that he could see, and with a heart shape. Okay, I am enough, right? I am enough. I am enough. The moment he started doing that, all his relationships started flourishing. It started coming back into life. So sometimes we do things, and sometimes we are constantly in that zone of, I'm not enough. So a short way to heal that is right on your mirrors, wherever you are, wherever you see it, you can see it every day. Just underneath or just above your face, I am enough. That's beautiful. And that's shortcut to balance. Okay. You can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube channels. I have a couple of channels. And if you need one-to-one consultation, these are my numbers. You can connect with us and we'll see what we can do. But guys, it was lovely sharing with you. We have a couple of minutes. I'll do a quick closed eye process if you guys are ready. Unless you have any questions. Any questions? Okay, no questions. Great. If you have questions by any chance, you can mail it to me on mastercoachcj@gmail.com. Okay. And also you can type it in our WhatsApp group if you're part of the WhatsApp group. If you're not, then ask someone and we'll add you. And I'm going to post the link of the giver or a taker test on the WhatsApp group. Make sure you go through that test. It will give you a lot of revelations. Okay. It will increase your perspective about yourself at least. Okay. So any questions?
Chinmay, can we get the recording of the session?
Yes, I will send the recording on the WhatsApp group.
Great. Fantastic.
If we all can turn on our videos for a sec, I would like to take a quick photo. Yeah, you all look great. All right, 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. Got a photo. Fantastic. So thank you so much, guys. If you're ready, you can choose to close your eyes. And I'll take you through a quick closed eye process. As you close your eyes, you realize that you're getting more and more cool, more and more calm, more centered. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths. At the count of 4, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at count of 4, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and breathe out. And as you breathe in, just imagine that you are in a beautiful garden, your favorite place. And as you're entering the garden, you see different colors of flowers. You see 6 colors of flowers. And as you see these different colors of flowers, you also feel the fragrance from those flowers. As you feel that fragrance of flowers, you feel how amazing it feels. You smell them. Take a deep inhale. As you inhale, you realize that these flowers are representing your relationships. And every single relationship that is there in your life means something. It's there for a reason. It's there for a purpose. It's there for you to enjoy the fragrance of life. And in order for you to enjoy the fragrance of life, all you have to do is take a walk in that garden every single day and enjoy the fragrance. And in order for you to enjoy the fragrance, all you got to do is water the plants, water the seeds every single day. Make some deposits. Maybe fertilize them. You don't need to pluck them. They will automatically give you the fragrance when the time is right. But when you are in charge of the garden, you know which flower needs what kind of environment, what kind of support for it to grow. You know which relationship in your life requires what kind of support for it to flourish. Your soul is wise enough to create space, but at the same time to be a contributor, to create the balance. As you create this balance, you see the beautiful garden of your life that is full of flowers. And as you see that, just take another deep inhale and exhale with gratitude for every relationship that you have that is in balance. Take another deep inhale for every relationship. Be grateful that is coming into balance. And as you're grateful, you can choose to open your eyes and give yourself a huge round of applause. Well done, guys. Thank you so much for such an amazing session we all had. And
Thank you, Chinmay.
I'm
Thank
sure
you
it had
very much.
value for your life. Type in whatever questions you have or whatever requests you have about the sessions for the next week. Until then, I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Chinmay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks, Chinmay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chinmay.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much.
Very powerful session.
Thank you. Thank you, Ajay ji. Thank you, Chinmay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay ji. Thanks, everybody.